two, one. Are we live? Folks, welcome back again for another ultra dusted, ultra dumb, ultra boom type of pod. I'm joined with my co-host, Ernesto Collectibles.
What's
It's
good,
been a
man?
while. It's been a while, dude.
Where are you, bro?
I'm back.
Oh, you're bro I used to do the podcast with.
Yeah. Bad guy.
Oh, what's up, bro? You still in the hobby?
I just made it back. It's been a while. Um, had a nice little Christmas into a brutal flu. Um, into a bunch of other work. So sorry for not sorry for going ghost on you, dude. I actually feel really bad. We can talk about this for a second. I feel so terrible that I just blatantly took a crazy long vacation right in front of your face from the hobby.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to apologize to you for that.
Oh, you're good, bro. But I mean, I, I'm out the hobby now.
Oh,
So yeah, I was only getting strung along by this podcast. But after such a long break, I don't even like, are cards even a thing, or do people like cards or what?
I think everything is down right now. People are saying stuff is booming, but still have my doubts.
I heard some dude got punched in the face at the Walmart. That made me
Oh, really?
bullish. Yeah, he was
That's
trying to
good.
get some blisters or something, blister packs. So that made me pretty bullish. Um,
We're back to punching people.
I mean, dude, you got to get it how you got to get it, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Got to pay those bills, pay that rent with some punching of people to get your 3-pack blisters.
So let me get this straight. You basically you were sick, right? That's your excuse. You were sick.
Mm-hmm. I was incredibly sick. Um,
Okay, bro, you can't come up with a better excuse than I was
dude,
sick.
literally everyone was sending me messages on the Pikachu like, "Oh my god, I went for this, went for that," and I'm like wiping blood from my nose, like 103-degree fever, just shaking, sweating in bed. It's like,
That's dark.
yes, I did it. I
That's
did
crazy.
it.
So the money like didn't matter at all because you just wanted to live.
Yeah. It was a weird fever dream of seeing money hit my account, and like all I was thinking about was survival.
That's
Like it was
dark.
supposed to be a joyous moment, but it was less joyous than I had hoped. It was joyous after the fact, after like I knew I was going to live, but during the moments of sweating through my bed sheets and shaking with a fever for 4 days, other things come to mind than money, like water and air conditioning and showers.
Yeah, no, we get it. Well, welcome back, dude. Everything is
Thanks,
great.
man.
Market is great.
You've been
Um,
holding it down. You've been living in the boom.
Kinda. I don't know. I've just been buying EVs and playing PS5 and chilling. I'm not
Hell
gonna
yeah.
lie. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Sounds like
Um,
a nice little life you're living, dude.
Bro,
Just
it's
buy
the
EVs and just relax.
I just think the more time you spend thinking about the hobby, the harder the hobby gets. It's the opposite of everything else. Like if you have 10 minutes a week on the hobby, you're a millionaire. But if you have 10 hours, you're broke.
Mm,
Why? Because you're thinking way too much. You literally could spend your entire bankroll in 10 minutes, click, and be done. Okay? I've done it
hmm
too. I'm in Discord. Oh, big braining. Oh, this fell had Pikachu's. Oh, 2025. Oh, let me do a little spreadsheet. For what? That just creates anxiety and like for what? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, anxiety that's going to hold you back from buying more things. I think
Yeah.
anything you buy in this market that was made a couple of weeks ago just goes up in value. So just check what's coming out, what's new, and just buy that. I think that's really just the play nowadays in these boom times. Oh, new set, Journey Together comes out. 2024 set would have been $90 a box, but it sells out immediately on Pokemon Center for 160. So we're in this really strange time.
We
I
can
don't
talk
think
about
I don't
that.
think any. I think honestly, like if it was a year ago and this Journey Together set came out and they were showing the cards and stuff, everybody would have been yawning. Like, oh, I don't give a shit. Oh, they're trying to add a promo to the booster box because Pokemon's dying and they can't get enough sales to everything's going to go down. But now it's just everyone's so happy and everything's going up and just absolute mayhem. You got you got plumbers going live on their Instagram reels, you know, cussing, hoping that Pokemon Company, you know, doesn't watch their PP and drills down these flippers. Um, yeah, I mean, I made a little react video to that. I think we're just react content people now, right? Because like at that point, we don't have to create our own content. We can just react to other people's content and make content off of that. Seems pretty good.
Yeah, one of the easiest ways to go. Hey, shout out everybody. Shout out to everybody that's hanging out with us. Was getting in. If you got like a question or a comment or something, hit us in the chat so we can react to it. We have a bunch of topics that we wanted to talk about. Um, but I don't know. I guess where do you want to start, Smith? Like, I don't care about like the people you want to make fun of. I'd rather skip that. Like, I just really don't care, honestly, dude. Like, it's like, yeah, dude, you see so much clown shit on IG all the time, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't even want to like, because when I listen to this podcast back, I always skip through that part. You know what I mean? Like, it's like they're jokers. Let them be jokers. Just make the money and keep it moving. You know?
Yeah, but I think that's where we're different, dude. It's just too funny. Like some of this brain dead content is just too funny to me. I can't just sit aside and let it be out there. Uh, I can't see a video of a 35-year-old man being pissed off that he didn't get a Journey Together set and not like just be like, ah, yeah, throw it to the side. I think it's because I'm just too bored, dude. I'm bored. The hobby's boring right now, even though it's really exciting, but it's like just so you can just call what's going to happen. Oh, is it a Sword and
What's gonna
Shield alt
happen?
art? It's going to go up. Oh, is it a Sword and Shield set? It's going to go up. It's still going up. There's nothing else really going on right now other than people just losing their minds over alt arts. Just it's the same thing all over again. But yeah, I'll stop making fun of people, dude. It's fine. It's not worth it. It'll I'll just
Well,
let it go to
my
the
girl
side.
just texted me. My girl just texted me. This is breaking news.
Mm-hmm.
I apparently there was some giveaway and she won an electric skateboard. So
Oh, get some videos of that going.
I'm in a boom, dude. We're gonna win.
That's crazy.
Question: Are we gonna win? Thrifty TCG? Yes, we are gonna win. We are all winning right now because this little dumb hobby that we did for fun when no one was around is in a insanely big boom. And literally, if you have a brain and you buy anything, you'll probably make money.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And we just got a question from Pokemage. Will the Gengar Altar hit 2 bans? Well, considering it went from 600 to 1500 in a month, I would check. I would go into 130 point, type in Gengar Altart. If it hasn't hit 2 bans yet, it's probably going to hit 2 bans. So just do your little checkbox. Is it a Gengar? Yes. Is it an Altart? Yes. Was it in Sword and Shield? Yes. Has the box price of that set like quad or tripled in the past month? Yes. I think it'll be 2 bans. I think
yeah,
we're
I
just
don't know.
in that state, dude. There's just not enough. I was like having this like thought in my mind too. Is like I'm wondering if there's just like tons of buyout groups out there, like alt art buyout groups, where they're less looking at the price of the individual cards and they're doing some sort of big brain play where it's like what's the population times what it's selling for, what's the total market cap, and like what do we think we can get that market cap together to, because like honestly a lot of these alt arts even at $1,500 a card, if you look at stocks or anything else that shows market caps and how big some of those are, it's like these cards, like even the Gengar alt art at 1,500, it seems absolutely insane. I think it's insane. But overall, if you multiply 1,500 by the 5,500 pop, and you start treating it like a market cap stock, it's really not that much in the grand scheme of things. So that's the crazy thing about this all. When there's so much money in Pokemon and it's really centered on just Sword and Shield alt arts, like I think the money can make these prices run up so much more. But who knows if people are actually thinking about it in that way? It was just a thought that came to my mind.
Yeah, that's interesting to think about, like potential buyouts. And I mean, yeah, a lot of the stuff is pretty cheap and it's low pop. So somebody with money and like, yeah, they could definitely influence, but I'm not sure how they win.
Well,
Um,
even like a lot of pop, like that Gengar, it's like nearly 6,000 in a PSA 10, like population wise. And it's like if you multiply that by 1,500, if all of the entire pop was bought for 1,500 all at once, that's only $8 million. People spend more than that on watches, like on a single watch, than an entire of the most popular card in Pokemon. So
that's
it's
true.
not too. It would have seemed crazy a few months ago. Like if you were buying the Gengar Altart for 600, for someone to tell you, "Hey, this is going to triple in value in the next month," like you would have been thought to be insane, like an insane person thinking that. But um, if you look at the total number of, if every single card went for sale and they all sold for 1,500, it's only 8 million for literally one of the most talked about cards in Pokemon right now. So it's really not too crazy that it could go up another 25%,
Yeah, yeah, I think you answered that well. Um, I'm not really sure. I haven't been monitoring that card or anything, but it's a Gengar, it's a boom, wouldn't surprise me, you know?
Makes you hope that vintage picks up, because a lot of these vintage cards are only like one or two listed on eBay, and like maybe one comp in the past few months. Like what happens if 5 people that are buying Gengars for 1,500 start buying Tyranitar Delta species or some other card that's just, there's like 100 of them and they're $150. Like you're not even going to be able to buy out the entire pop. You know, it would the supply what's it called, squeeze would make those cards go up a lot in vintage, I think. But like you were telling me the other day, it's hard to imagine any vintage card right now other than the most popular of popular ones going up in value.
Yeah, yeah, but see, that's kind of the type of stuff I was like telling you about a little bit earlier in the pod. Like, I don't like that doesn't make me money, so yawn. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm completely Majin Nesty now. Like, I'm totally devoid of any care for the cards. I don't
Mm-hmm.
care at all. So, like, this question, will the Gengar get to 2K? I don't know. I don't care. Yawn. Like, and not in a disrespectful way. Like, that's just legit how I feel about almost everything in the hobby. Like, how do I make the money? And if not, yawn. Because
Mm-hmm.
everything else is essentially just guessing and anxiety, and it's for what? Like, if you can do the same thing in 2 hours and make more money than all the dudes overthinking, then what the fuck is the point at the end of the day? Like, so
Well, it's
my
like
question, yeah,
what you're, sorry to cut you off, but what you're saying is like super true, because it's like you can get a lot of it. Like if you can't afford a Gengar at 1,500, but you feel like that's the best player right now because you think it'll go to like 2K or 2,500 like really quickly, putting that 1,500 down on that Gengar and then just holding it and hoping and waiting with anxiety, like, oh, I hope I was right. I hope this doesn't go down to 12 or 1,300 in the meantime, with all of them coming to sale because it's 3x in a month. Like instead of doing all that freaking out, you can just keep buying EVs or just keep buying the most popular thing. And all, like what that's like, that's probably, do you want 6 Umbreons right now from the newest set to grade, or do you want to buy a Gengar for 1,500 and sit around and hope.
Well,
So you could
but then
just
yeah,
do so much more with 1,500, I think. But
but also it's like if you're collecting, then you don't want to sell it, right? Like if that Gengar is my favorite card, am I buying it to sell it, or am I buying it because I want to have it? You don't you like, you know what I'm saying?
yeah, I mean that's the bullish notion on buying the Gengar is like how many of these $1,500 buys are going into someone's PC forever, and how many are actually, is it all speculation because it's moving so fast? You might as well buy in now and hope it keeps going up. So it's all different
Yeah,
ways to play the boom.
yeah, but all that locked down in people's collection shit changes real quick when people need money. And
Mm-hmm.
then they start hitting the market and it's the same shit over and over and over. So for me, it's like if you want to have something in your collection, just write it off as not inventory and just literally like forget about it and be like, yo, that's the card I want and that's it, you know? But even that doesn't make any sense when you can just boom that money all the way to financial freedom, my lord, you know? But like
Mm-hmm.
you can right now it's a good time to be churning and to be flipping and to be buying at, buying collections and turning them around and grading and like just hustling, bro, basically. I think that yeah, I think even me, bro, I think like I should be hustling way harder. I should be hitting these card shops and like looking for the English and like trying to find people to sell Japanese to and like all sorts of things, like the boom is not just about one card or the Gengar or the Moonbryon. It's about everything is an opportunity and it's a great time to put hours in the hobby. But
Mm-hmm.
but I want to put effective hours. I'm not trying to sit around talking about, oh, what do y'all think about this? I don't care. I'm trying to like, what are we buying? Like, what's the play? Who are we grading with? Like, I'm on some like, let's take advantage of this. Like, a lot of people are patting themselves on the back too much during the boom. Like, oh, we made $1,000. It's like, bro, y'all are missing the point. Like, everybody made money in the boom, but some people are gonna get rich in the boom. So that, yeah, I don't know. I just don't. I can't be bothered, bro. I don't know. I went dark.
Sorry,
My
did you
fault.
cut out or was it me?
Yeah, I don't know. I think you cut out.
Okay.
Yeah.
You were saying something about the boom.
Yeah, it's a boom. We're gonna win.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's catch up with the chat. Let's see where it's getting in. Kai Oak Bacon says, boom.
Hmm.
What's up, Kai? How
Top
you doing?
signal.
Brody's here. Chevy, what's going on? Thrifty. What if ask a question? What if the entire market cap of Evolutions moved into Fossil? That would be bad. Uh,
Every fossil collector would love it though.
Fossil's mid, bro. Sorry, guys.
Oof. You heard it here, folks.
Yep.
But yeah, capitalizing on the boom, like, I mean, that's why if anyone hasn't heard it yet, I'm gonna give it a go streaming on Whatnot, starting at the end of next week. And it's kind of like, I don't know, Retro had some good points too, because like I was just thinking about just like going hard for a month, and because of the no fees offer I got and a bunch of other reasons, with my job picking up in February. But he said a good thing. He's like, you should be tackling it in a way where you do it until it breaks instead of just having like a goal of like, oh, just do it for a month hard and then like planning on quitting. Because it's like if I do it for a month and it goes really well, then it's like, why would you quit even with fees, you know? So it's kind of just taking everything you do during this little boom, as hard as you can, because times like this are, I mean, we've seen it. I mean, if you've been here the past 3 years, we went from absolute ecstasy and craziness and everyone euphorically losing their minds to so many people leaving, so many people, every new set coming out, people are like, oh, this is dog shit. It's all over. We literally heard it's all over for the past 2 years. And then now it's happening. And then there's so many more people in the market and everyone's like, oh, we're all good again. Like everything's only going up.
It's
It's
crazy,
like,
bro.
it's crazy how quickly people's minds can change
quickly, bro.
on something like
Insane.
that.
Right, but that's for like all the vintage people. It's like you kind of just place your bet and then you keep the slab, you know? Like don't
Hmm.
you can't like I don't know, like even me, like it's like okay, yeah, I could sell so I could flip and obviously yeah, that's gonna print, but the market is just so unpredictable too that if you're holding some like sauce vintage, you're kind of playing the lottery too. It's just a different lottery. Like if you have like a PSA 10 first edition Shining or something, it's like you don't know. Like it could come back around to that, or somebody could want that, or Shinings could come back in a major way in modern, and then people go back. Like there's so many different like possibilities, but at the end of the day, it's yawn because it's not gonna happen. You can't predict it. It's not tangible, and you're just kind of sitting around waiting for something that may or may not happen. You know, so
Yeah. Like
that's the
really,
that's the reality.
literally the only thing that you can reasonably predict right now is something that sells as much as modern does. Because you can start doing math like, oh, how many of these copies are listed on eBay? How many are listed elsewhere? How many are selling per day? Like all that data is there for you to use. Um, but like vintage is where I feel like it's the most speculative right now because it's like if I was going to be like heavily investing in vintage because I have an idea that vintage is going to start picking up in traction and all this stuff, like I'd probably I don't know. I don't know. I don't feel comfortable enough with English, but I would be going after like cheap Japanese cards of like the most expensive, most liquid popular English uh Pokemon vintage cards. Like honestly, Japanese base set Charizard with the way that regular base set Charizard is moving right now, it could be a play. Like if you're trying to do it like this year, like if you have a speculation that base set unlimited Charizard is going to keep going up from here. Like it's already like close to doubling right now from last November, like November 2023. I'm pretty sure we were looking at it was like $800,
It's like
$900
$900
for a
bucks. Yeah.
PSA 9, and
Hmm.
now those are like 1,600, multiple selling a day.
Yeah.
So it's like if you see that type of momentum happening in English, like the way the last boom worked was literally there was like a BGS 10 sale or something, or for a first ed Lugia English for like 80K. And like over the next month, like the Japanese PSA 10 of that Lugia card tripled in price. Like it went from like 500 to 1,500. Like there's certain things you can kind of tap into like that. Like if you are bullish on vintage, but if you're like bullish on vintage and you're buying anything that's not Charizard, Gengar, etc., like you're really risking it. Like if you're like, oh, you're doing crazy speculation like for example, oh, Sleepy T-Tar was 250 in a 10 in English like a couple months ago and now it's 450. That means that there's a lot of T-Tar lovers out there. I'm going to start buying Delta Series Tyranitar and E Series Tyranitar and holding on to those.
I don't
Like
think that's how you do it.
that, yeah, it's super speculative to do that,
No,
like hoping that the market works out the way you want it to. Like that's just not how this market works, I don't think.
no, that's not how it works.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think like I was talking to Quilly the other day and he said something that made kind like I mean I don't know if it makes sense. I kind of want to talk about it. I think it does. But it's like every card has kind of its own story and you shouldn't really compare like one card to another. And I feel like I do that a lot and we have done that a lot. Like, oh, well, this Charizard is so and so price, so then why isn't this Charizard? And it's like it kind of makes sense, but it's two different cards. It's two different releases. It's two different stories. Like for example, unlimited base set Charizard. Is that even a card? Like, is that even a card, or is that $100 bill? Like, I'm asking a serious question. Like, if I own a unlimited base set Charizard, is that do I own a card or do I own like crypto? Like, it's basically water that I'm
Yeah.
holding.
Yeah.
So,
It'll
like, I
sell
remember
immediately.
like when they were $800, $900, you and I both wanted it. We were like, this is dummy cheap. Like we knew. right? But
Yeah.
buying those cards still wouldn't have outperformed other flips.
Yeah.
So it's just there's never a time when you're really holding, unless you're more like a passive investor, I guess, guy that's
Mhm.
like putting money passively and playing the market, I guess. But
Yeah, the
um,
crazy thing is, like, if you're doing that, like, if you have $1,000,000 to play with Pokemon, like, you're just super stupidly set up, financially. It's still better
to
to
flip.
buy well, it's like, if you're doing the passive investing, it's so much better to buy Mew UPCs when they were 80 and Charizard
Mhm.
UPCs when they were 80 and Fusion Strike at 90 and Evolving Skies and just holding on to it. Like, it's always better if you're passively investing to just put back a whole bunch of sealed than buying a whole bunch of PSA 9 Charizards when they're 800 and hoping they and I mean, I guess you would know, but that they would eventually go back up because it's such a popular card, but really just hoping that they'll go up versus knowing that your little boxes of uh, instant gambling payoff wouldn't go up faster. So I don't know. I think just like if you are putting a whole bunch of money in Pokemon, it's just always better to do it in sealed long term than really trying to speculate on cards because you know the market is going to be eating into the sealed product. Like that's what this whole entire market is built off of. At least I would say like the majority of capital is definitely buying and ripping and holding sealed product. So you at
Yeah.
least know what's going to happen with the market with sealed. With cards, it's you're just really hoping the market does what you want it to, and that's hardly ever worked out for me.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes you get lucky. But like definitely for the like last couple months, I was seeing a lot of the vintage cards that I like just go down and down and down. Like, bro, there was unlimis and PSA 10s for under 100,
Hmm.
and it's like insane. Um, and then at the time, everybody's like, "Oh, but nobody likes that, dude. Like, it's vintage." I'm like, bro, these packs are $500. This is the hollow from the pack in a 10. How is this $100? Like,
Hmm.
this is insane. Like, it's a Nido King 10 pop 25 and it's 100 and it's a fifth of the pack. Like that doesn't make no sense. But
Yeah.
then also I can't have 12, 13 unlimit slabs. And then now the boom happens and unlimits didn't even fucking move 1 inch, one iota. So it's like, dude, it you cannot try to big brain shit. Like it's really not smart to try to overthink things.
Hmm.
And it's like it's silly because there's people that literally just like wake up earlier than you, have a VPN, and they buy 15 ETBs and they make $1,000 in 10 minutes. You know what I'm saying? And then you got like our homies like grading vintage to make 15% on 150 on a grail.
Yeah.
So it's like vintage is just not it right now. I don't know. I mean, it is what it is. I'm not like salty about it. I'm actually happy because maybe I can buy some of the stuff I want, but why would I tie up the money? Like, why would I tie up the money in vintage? And then it's like that thing we talked about last time too, where in order for something to catch fire, there needs to be a lot of it. And there's really no vintage, grail or whatever that's has enough of a pop to catch fire. And yeah, I don't know. I guess this is the new meta, bro. It's like when Fel Hat Pikachu came out, I was like, I bet you this is gonna moon because it looks like like the other Van Gogh promos.
Hmm.
But then it was like a down market, so I'm like, people know better. Like people aren't stupid. Like I was thinking this could be like a Grand Prix Charizard. Remember the one where he's in the stadium? I was like,
Hmm.
maybe the Van Gogh got printed a shit ton. I didn't know. Um, bro, those cards are $800 now.
Yeah.
They're $50 raw. And
Hmm.
it was kind of obvious. Like now that I don't care and I'm more like detached, it's like, bro, yeah, Pikachu hat, full art, like Kasube, like super snap. I don't know. But then even then, it's like it's weird. It's almost like it's hard to tie up money on a maybe when you have a guaranteed, double or 40% on something that you already know works. And
Yeah.
so it's weird because you want to grow and make your plays bigger and bigger, but then also there's always new cards coming out that present an opportunity to buy in at the floor. So like if I had known, I would have bought in at the floor, obviously, but it's like I couldn't tie up 4K in Van Goghs when my bankroll was 8K. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like I don't know, man. Like
And it's also like goes to the what you were saying about the pops being too low. It just means like it has to take someone showing off their card on Instagram or showing it off somewhere for someone to who's new to even find out about it. Whereas like a lot of these market moves have been made off of like Pat Flynn or all these other big ripping channels like showing off sets and stuff. And it's like, is it easier? And so like if Pat Flynn is going to get 100K views every ripping video, no matter what he opens, is he going to buy $20 Evolving Skies packs to make content with? Or is he going to buy $500 Split Earth E Series packs from
Yeah, yeah,
2003, which like he's
yeah.
probably not even going to be able to find at a show to rip? So it's like
Hmm.
at a certain point, there's just going to be so much more content made with modern because it's so much more accessible, and that many more
Right.
people are going to find out about it through those means.
Also, bro, maybe modern's better. Like, okay, it doesn't matter what we think. Like, maybe people just like modern better. That's a thing.
Hmm.
That could be a thing, you know. Um, like everyone's like, oh, this is such a temporary like bubble, and it's like I think so, but also I don't know. Maybe people really like these cards. Um,
I think they do. I think it shows. I mean, the fact. I mean, even besides the fact of like, oh, it's way easier to go and find a video of someone ripping a whole bunch of Fusion Strike and Evolving Skies than it is like vintage packs. Like, it could be that new people enjoy watching modern get ripped too. Like maybe the cards look better to them, or it's more exciting because the pulls are like the pull rate is so much harder. So it's like whenever you do pull an alt art, it's less expected, so there's more excitement versus I'm going to open a base set pack and it's a 1 in 3 chance that you're going to see a hit, and everybody knows what the hit is, and it's not a full art. It's not all these other things that people are craving right now. So um, I mean, I'm still super bullish on vintage, like long term. Like once supply really does get eaten up, and eventually maybe some of these Delta series, it gets to a point where some of these Delta series cards, maybe all of them get graded, and the pops are still under 500, and there's just more buyers overall over tens of years than the supply can keep up with over that amount of time, and they start going up just because of that. But I don't know, as far as promoting it and people liking it right now, like I think vintage, it's crazy that vintage could be the most speculative thing to hold in a market.
yeah,
Like the oldest, hardest to find, hardest to grade, all this stuff that in so many other markets is the cream of the crop. In Pokemon, it's like the most speculative thing to put your money into.
but like
Pretty
I
hilarious.
honestly, bro, I think a lot of people they like there. It's like what I was saying earlier. Each card has their own story, and like people are very picky about what they want to collect. Like the other day, I was at my friend's house, and his buddy came in, and I know he likes Pokemon cards, right? And I showed him two of my cards. One of them, he was like, "Wow, bro, this is such a grail. Like, I wish I had this. Oh my God, insane." And then the second one, he goes, I don't like it. And immediately check folded. And
Hmm.
both of the cards were signed by Arita, and both of them have a sketch. And one of them was like, oh my God, what a grail. And the other one was like, oh, yuck. Like, he actually was like, yuck.
Hmm.
So what I'm saying is that dude, like, like there's no rhyme or reason why people like what they like. There's literally no rhyme or reason. Like tomorrow, the graphite, the monkey with the graffiti could blow up. There's literally no fucking reason for any of this, you know? And then it's like when you try to big brain vintage, yeah, like it kind of makes sense, but you gotta guess. You gotta like guess correctly. And then once you guess correctly, you gotta sell. So if you love vintage and you're holding because you love vintage and you're not planning to sell, you're actually like just collecting. And that's
Hmm.
fine. Like I don't know, it's there's really nothing else to talk about with vintage. It's not there's not enough of it. There's no light being like put on it. And yes, something randomly could boom in vintage, but for all of vintage to boom, how? Like I'm really trying to think like how could that happen? Like if they reprint E series, if they say 2026 E series is back, like would the old E series boom?
I mean, it doesn't help, or it always helps to have any extra marketing. So if they do redo E
It
series, I'm
should,
sure
right? Like it
there would be
should
some
boom.
sort of not not exactly a boom should be expected, but a lot more eyes on that type of card for sure. Like I still think it would take time. Like even with this rocket set coming out, I know there's been a lot of speculation by people buying old rocket cards, whether it's the WotC set or it's the EX Rocket Returns or the Giovanni and Jesse James promos and the rocket boxes. Like all of those are still really liquid right now, and that might be because there's, people are speculating that Rocket being announced, like maybe new people will go back to Rocket, but also it could just be like every single new person, millions of people see the new Rocket set. They're like, oh, there's other Rocket sets in the past. Let me look at those. Oh, all that's mid compared to the new set. Like that's also a very possible possibility. So it's just so hard to speculate on stuff, even when they relaunch stuff. It's like could easily be, oh, the Rocket set's the best set of all time. Yawn on all the old Rocket sets. Like these just don't hit the same. So
We got some good ones in the chat. Chevy says it's a mix of encouraged online gambling, attractive sets, and rich dudes going full time buying out the most liquid cards. Yeah, but I mean
yeah,
that's a boom, right? That's a boom. Like rich dudes are gonna rich dude and buy in, and why wouldn't they? They have the money. Like that's nothing wrong with that. Like come on in, you know. The online gambling, yeah, I do think some people get hit over the head to try to pull the chase card that it's not there. Like I saw this stream, bro, and some dude was ripping Terrestrial for like 3 hours, didn't pull an EV. I was like, ugh, this
yeah,
is a little
so many people
sus.
losing money on those prismatic
Three
rips
three
is
hours.
crazy.
Imagine 3 hours of a fast streamer ripping fast.
Uh-huh.
Like he ripped a lot of boxes, bro. Not a single Umbreon. And it's like yucky, some people weighing packs. Anyway, um, to me again, like it's like what do I get from trying to solve all these problems? Not much, Like I'd rather try to spend my time thinking about how I can like benefit, how I can profit, like how I can make something happen. I don't know.
Yeah. And Julia says something I've kind of noticed too is like a lot of new people have some sort of misconception that vintage is super expensive and inaccessible these days too. Like maybe they got hit over the head in 2020 and backed out immediately because everything was insane priced in vintage, and they still have that in their minds, or maybe they're brand new and they just have friends that were in the hobby that said, yeah, don't even try for vintage because it's ridiculously hard to find and afford. So it's like there could be a speculation there where it's like we're still at a time where potentially a lot of vintage cards could be at their bottoms of like who knows the next 50 years. Like you just don't know because I mean a lot of these cards, the ones listed, one or two copies on eBay, uh let's say one for 500, one for 750, but the raw is like 400. It's like I mean those could move really fast if they get bought out and there's still people looking for them and new ones get listed. So I don't know. It's hard, really hard to tell. Um, Looking at other comments. Yeah, apparently we have a black and so this Journey Together set is like a re-release of trainer Pokemon. So I think there will be like a Lily's Clefairy alt art or card or something, that type of thing. I don't think they've done that since Gym or Rocket, right? So they're bringing that back. They've got a black and white set, and apparently a mega set was announced too. So Pokemon's not slowing down at all. We're going to get trainer Pokemon. We're going to get rocket Pokemon, which will probably most likely have trainer Pokemon in them in that set. Black and white could be a good trainer set too. And then they have megas as well. So 2025, I think, is just going to continue to be insane until we just get what we need to stop this is a set like Journey Together but maybe it's 6-8 months down the road, and it gets all bought out from Pokemon Center. Like, I honestly think that all these next sets will get completely wiped from Pokemon Center on release until we experience some sort of, you know, just less greed. I don't know, some sort of mental mind shift across the hobby to where one of these sets, like, I guarantee you this ends with one of these sets being completely bought out from Pokemon Center for 160 a box or whatever, and then there's just not enough demand to uh, buy up all of these boxes that people are trying to immediately flip, and then the box goes below what Pokemon Center has it listed for, and then LGSs will start dumping, and
Yeah, but do
everyone
you
will
see
start
that
dumping.
happening? Like, do
I,
you
I
really see?
I see it happening, but no time soon,
No,
honestly.
dude. With all the packs, all the pack rippers and stuff. I mean,
Yeah,
for the time being, I don't see a set crashing. Like, if you can get it at retail, like you're probably good.
yeah.
Um,
It'll happen eventually, though. Like, I mean, that's how 2020 was happening. Was eventually there was, a set. I think it was Battle Styles or something like that, where because of COVID and all these other circumstances, a massive reprint came out, and all the LGSs, everyone with distro got the amount that they asked for, which was way more than what they actually wanted, because they were in this boom time of where I have to over ask for what I want to be able to get the amount that I actually want. And then they came through with Battle Styles and just wiped everybody out. So eventually it will happen. It's just I can't see it happening anytime soon. If a set called Journey Together, where we don't even know the cards yet, except for like a few from half of the set, that is going to be the half set released in Japan. Like, we don't even know it's in this set, and it's already bought out from Pokemon Center at 160. That's like, I can't even comprehend the demand that takes to pull that off.
right. But it's like that's the future. Who cares? Like,
Mm-hmm.
like that's in the future, it'll crash, but right now we're gonna flip, like what Chevy's saying.
Yeah, we're
Like,
back in the weird days where you just buy on Pokemon Center for MSRP and you make money immediately out the gate. It's hilarious. Time to Time to make a Twitter and sign up for all the notifications, or join a Discord that gives you notifications. Make the free money. Got Alice in Silverland here. What's up?
yeah, I don't know. I've been kind of feeling like I'm not really sure like if I have that many more goals in the hobby, like from a hobby perspective, like how people want to buy like a base set box and put it in an acrylic case or whatever, or they want to get their grail or whatever, like
Mm-hmm.
I kind of already have the stuff that I liked, and I kind of now understand, I guess, having a little bit more perspective that I'm gonna come across cool shit that I'll be able to collect too, like in my journey, LOL.
Mm-hmm.
So like right now, I'm kind of just trying to understand like what I need to focus on. And I think what I need to focus on in a boom is flipping and like locking in, and even being more disciplined in life with my spending, so I could like put a little bit more towards it and like really taking it serious. Like, I don't want this boom to pass by and I'm like watching it pass by,
Yeah.
and that's part of the, I guess, perspective or whatever. But then also like some of the cards that people might PC, it's like we talked about this before, but you don't want to sell them because you don't want to find them again. They're like hard to find. And
Yeah.
like that's why you should like, just kind of take those off the table, is my opinion.
I mean
But
that.
yes, yeah.
I mean, it's kind of. I can't remember. I think it's Basic brought it up in the chat, but it does seem like all the vintage heads, after these past 2-3 years of vintage just steadily going lower and lower and lower, like, it's very possible a lot, like, the majority of vintage people have most of what they've been looking for, um, which could be a good thing for vintage, because if a lot of it's bought up already, like, what's remaining? I mean, it'll just take a little bit from new people to bring prices back up. But also, I feel like that's why it's so stagnant right now. Is like, I feel like I can, like, every single vintage card I've sold on Instagram, like I know the person and I know that they collect vintage and I know what they collect. It's like sometimes I'll get an E-series card in or something vintage and I already know who to reach out to, which is like that's not how modern is. Modern, it's like you just put it up and someone brand new off of an ad or off of they just followed you or maybe they saw your story posted to somebody else's and they'll come in and buy it and you've never talked to this person before. Um, so it's interesting all around.
Mm, yeah. I'm not sure what to say. I mean, the yeah, I just think there's a lot of like overthinking. I guess I was trying to think more about like what my plan is for the year and like how I want to approach it. And I think I'm definitely this year gonna look at it more like numbers on a spreadsheet and really try to like, I guess, grow that number. Like I'm playing it like a video game this year, you know? Um, because I just like I guess I just can't predict what's gonna happen. I've been wrong about stuff and I've been incorrectly right about stuff. Like it's all over the place. So I it, I don't know, maybe that's how the pillars feel when they're like 10, 15 years in, where it's like, dude, y'all are still trying to figure out what's gonna happen in the next 6 months. It's like when I think about a good business, it's something that's gonna be around for all 4 seasons. Like you're becoming a streamer now. I think that's a really good move when it's a boom because you're getting immediate liquidity. You're pulling stuff that then you can maybe trade and then grade, and you're just gonna have so many more cards around you in a boom that to me such a good decision. As a business, like I'm gonna stream during the boom, you know? I want to talk about shit like that. I don't want to talk about like whatever. I don't know. It feels like I hear the Charlie Brown parents all over, and it's making me feel like maybe I'm dusted, but I just don't care. I don't know.
I mean, I think that's the best way to tackle it is like if you're hearing an opinion that you already know the answer to and you're pretty sure they're wrong, or if it's just an opinion or just yeah, the Charlie Brown type of voice if someone starts talking and you're like, "Oh, wow, I've heard this 1,000 times." Like, it doesn't hurt to just completely ignore it or just hop out of that conversation or do whatever you can to do something more productive than hear someone ramble on about, "Oh, is Evolving Skies gonna keep going up?" It's like it doesn't matter if it's going to
Oh,
keep
but
going
like
up. Can you get it for a good deal right now? Can you flip it if you get it for that deal? Like, do you feel comfortable buying it for its current? Like, all these decisions should be up to you. You shouldn't be listening to people's opinions about, oh, it's going to go down or oh, it's going to go up. Like, you should be making your own decisions based off your own uh, uh, experiences.
for sure. No, I'm not saying like, but for example, like sometimes people will give you a play, but the play is like it's not for your bankroll sometimes, you know, and like it could be under or over, you know. Like I have friends that are just getting in the hobby that they're like, yo, if I get, you know, if I get this for 5, can you get me 10? You know, because they're just getting started. And then I have friends that are like, how many cases of Terrestrial do you want? You know, and it's two different like businesses, you know. But for example, if somebody tells you that an ETB or a specialty set or whatever is undervalued by $15, what can you actually do with that information? Like, are you gonna buy 100 ETBs at 55 because you think they're worth 70?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's completely useless information. And like, it's like that's curious. Like, wow, that's a curious thing, but you actually can't make money there after shipping the ETB. So how do you make money? Like, so like it doesn't make money,
Yeah.
but it like there's so many things that get talked about. And maybe it's just me, I don't have the bankroll, you know, maybe in volume, maybe those $15, if you bought 1,000 of them or some, I don't know. But like for me, that information is kind of like I can't use it, you
Yeah.
know? Or like, or even like I think when people think about plays, they get so caught up in like a specific thing. Like they're like, oh, like Espeon's 50, we can get 120. But they're not thinking about like, what about everybody else that's thinking that? What about the second wave of our first play that's already the second wave, plus the English hitting the market? Like I just I don't feel like like I gotta ask my own questions, and I do better that way. If that makes sense. Like I just gotta ask my own questions and move accordingly.
Yeah, and it's like the thing where like if someone is telling you like, hey, this ETB is undervalued by $15, that could be helpful to some people who are running those plays. But like if you're not running that play, like that play to me only makes sense if you're buying up to, $1,000 off. Like if you're gonna try to make that play with a few ETBs, like you're actually wasting your time being ahead $45 and just sitting and waiting. Like um I actually have an example of that right now. Maybe someone's gonna hate me for spilling the beans, but like everyone is chasing all these crazy things and there's just plays to me made everywhere. Like the one I found recently that I'm not personally gonna make, like other people can make, but like the Obsidian Flames ETBs with the Charmander promo. Those are like $60 on TCG Player right now, and on GameStop with Pro subscription, you get them for 45 still online, shipped to your door. So like that's the exact thing that you just said was like, hey, there's an ETB currently that's been running up in value, but there's still certain stores selling it for 45 when on TCG Player and on eBay they're selling for 55 to $60, like 10 to $15 above where the cheapest place you can buy it. So it's like, are you going to go and buy a bunch of those ETBs, or are you going to put your money elsewhere?
No, you know what it
Um,
is too? I just realized while you were talking, bro. You know what it is too? That there's so many ways to make money in the hobby, and there's like so many different things that people talk about, right? But it doesn't all apply to you, right?
mhm,
Like for me, like just being transparent, like I like when plays last under a month. Like that's the place I like to make. I like to, for example, my thing arrived December 27th. I want the money in my account before February 1st. You
mhm,
get me? Like I want the whole play to take a month. So when dudes are talking about holding for 5 years on ETB, it's like I have to check out because I that's not the game that I'm playing, right? It's curious. It's like a curious thing, like, oh, that's curious, but it's like I can't actually act on it. And
mhm,
so there's so many conversations in the hobby that I've listened to, that I've processed and understood, but that don't apply to me and my business model at all.
yeah,
And so when you started flipping more English, I was like, oh, damn, this is something I actually could do. I could go to the card shops and source English in person. I'd have to leave my house, right? And so now I see the opportunity there. So I want to talk about that. Like, all right, so how do you approach these card shops? Like we're talking about like potential tens of thousands of dollars a month if we have the right conversations. But we're
mhm,
sitting there talking about why an ETB went up $4 and will outperform. It's like I don't. It's like it's not the conversation we need to be having. We need to be figuring out how do we get this minty English in plastic. We need to figure out who can we hit with 1,000 boxes of Terrastal, five, six, seven customers. Like we need to be having different conversations. That's what I'm pushing, and like I'm extremely bored and checked out with all the hobby conversations
mhm,
that don't make me money and that don't even attempt to like change your life. Like that's kind of where I'm at. Like
yeah,
I don't want to talk about art and Nishida and Sugimori anymore. I have 4 years for that. I want to have like direct conversations to the point, and like if we're gonna speculate, let's have action in mind. I don't want to just speculate to speculate because we're bored and we have nothing to do.
yeah.
Like you know what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah,
what
and
it is.
the crazy thing is, like, if you're going to go and buy, I think someone just said, yeah, Son of a Merc just said 151 bundles at Walmart online are $10 cheaper than uh, the market price. And it's like, it sounds great, and it's like what the new flippers kind of go for is like they just see that $10 or $15 of quick, easy money in their heads. They don't realize they have to deal with eBay fees or any other fees, taxes on top for buying them, all this stuff. And it's like for me, like if I was making these plays, I would have to buy hundreds of them. Like just on
Right.
the Obsidian Flames ETBs on GameStop, you'd have to buy minimum I just did the math, like 70 ETBs to get $1,000 in savings, and you're spending $3,000 on that before taxes and everything. So in reality, if you're buying 70, you're really only, getting $800, $800 to $900 of free value, and then now you have to sell through 70 ETBs. Like it's not like as realistic as you think. Like
No, dude,
sure,
it's no, it's a
if
play,
you
bro. It
it's a
look,
play if you have shitloads of
$15.
money and tons of
Dude,
space to store ETBs.
no, bro, they're 65 on eBay. You can get them for 60, dude. You're printing, I
It's
promise.
crazy.
No, but let's discuss the trend in the last 4 years of the trend of ETBs and compare them versus, bro, like, stop, bro.
Yeah, it's
Stop.
dark.
If you're buying sealed modern, it's because you have extra money and you don't have time. If you had
Yeah.
time, you would be grading and flipping. If you really don't want to grade and flip and you don't want to even touch a card, cool. Buy sealed. If you're stupid printing and you're a gazillionaire, buy cases and cases of the right sealed.
Hmm.
That's it. That's literally fucking it. All these people that are like, oh, my chilling rain box went up. It's like that was a bad buy to begin with. You should not have bought that. Congrats, you made 10% after 2 years. Like the whole thing is like, I don't know. I'm interested. Like what I'm about, or not about, but like what I like is like speed and margin. I don't know. It's like it might sound
Hmm.
like obvious, but it's like speed and margin prints. Like, but it's fine, man. Like I just kind of came to terms with that, bro. Like everybody thinks like Pokemon is something, and it is something different to everyone. But like if you're at a party, right, and there's dudes talking about flipping Pokemon, like what are those dudes gonna tell you as a full time, like not, like you're a serious reseller. Like what are those dudes at the party could possibly gonna tell you about flipping Pokemon?
Yeah.
But then dudes at the party will tell me like, no, what you should do is you should hold Giratina like sealed. It's like you're a dude at a party, bro. I'm a full-time pokey guy. Like it's just the ego is out of control, and it's like people just like will tell me what I need to buy when they've been in the hobby 2 weeks. It's a bubble. It's a boom.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about fundamentals and all this shit. I want to talk about how do we exploit all these newbies that are gonna get cooked in 3 months. How do we get them now?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I
I
don't mean
mean,
to be
and
cynical, but it's just what it is.
the simple answer is just keep buying. Like, does it feel like it's really dumb to think this, but you really got to dumb yourself down and go off of your own intuition. Does it feel good to buy what you're buying? Does it cause you anxiety to buy what you're buying? Because if it's causing you anxiety to buy what you're buying, you're probably putting too much money out there into too speculative of a play. Whereas, like, I guarantee you, every single Umbreon from Terrastal that you bought, you slept like a fucking baby.
Yeah,
Every
of
single one you bought. So it's like
course.
if you have an ETB play that you love and you sleep like a baby when you buy it, do it. Like maybe the math doesn't work out to for other people, but for you it could work out because you're doing zero work. It's just being shipped to your door, and all you have to do is store it and look up the prices a few months later and see if you won or not. So it's really all about sleeping at night, I think, as we can bring it back to sleeping at night. Your plays let you sleep at night? If so, you're probably doing okay. If your plays are causing you really restless nights, you're sweating, you're waking up in the middle of the night like, oh my God, I bought too much Jirachi. Oh my God, I like you should probably stop doing that play. Just do plays that make you feel good, that you're bullish on, and see how they work out. And that's how you learn in life. Because if you do a play that makes you sleep well at night, and then it starts causing you anxiety, you're like, okay, well, lesson learned.
I think there's so much personal inner work that has to be done, and so much reflection and so many conversations that you have to have in your personal life with like serious consequences, that to
Mm-hmm.
really spend your little two little tiny little pretty little head brain cells on trying to predict during a boom on top of that,
Mm-hmm.
it's like collecting was so 3 months ago. Like we're in a fucking boom, folks. This is not a
Yeah.
drill. This is not a drill. This is a boom. Look at the prices. Moonbreon was 900. It's 3 bands. It's going up 400 a week. everything that people ever thought about having tripled. I don't want to talk about the trend of the next 5 years. I'm probably not going to be alive in the next 5 years. So I'm going to die from all the boom money that I'm going to make.
Mm-hmm. You'll be riding down the street on your electric skateboard, going a
Like,
little too fast.
dude, it's like there's a bomb and it's going to go off and everyone wants to play poker now.
Yeah.
Like, it's a fucking bomb right there. Like, do you not understand it's a boom? Like, we need to deal with the boom right now. With like, I thought about quitting my job, dog. I'm like, I'm gonna quit my job. I don't want to work. I want to boom. But never mind. Let's talk about ETB trends again. I'm super super juiced for that.
Yeah, a lot of great ETB deals out there. Boom, boom, boom.
Then I ask people like, what's the next play? I'm like, what do I buy? And dudes are like, oh, we're buying more Umbreons. Y'all spend 10 hours a day all day talking about the hobby, and the best play I got from all you jokers is buy more Umbreons? Like, what's the point? What is the point, Jake Smith? You think I couldn't come up with that? I wonder what I should buy. What's the most popular liquids card that's booming every 5 minutes and sells immediately? I sold five in 30 minutes. Like,
Yeah,
what the fuck is the point of thinking, folks?
the problem is that you're thinking too much by even asking the question of, has everyone else thought this through? And it's like, no one's thought it through. We're just talking, do we like the art on the new ETB promo? Which is, it's not for you, it's not for me, but that's what we're talking about. So really the best plays, what are we buying, is you shut off your brain. What's selling the most? You should probably buy that.
Look, since you guys don't know how to handle a boom, and I don't know how to handle a boom, I'm gonna tell you what I've seen from great men and how they handling the boom. Okay, I'm not gonna say any names. I'm not gonna dox anyone's play, but listen, your little moths. Listen to how the great men handle a boom. Okay, they literally go balls to the wall on popular shit. That's it. Oh, you're selling your Moonbreon? I'll buy it. They don't think, oh, let me check prices. You're selling this. Yes, I want it.
Mm-hmm.
Take 90%. I hit you over the head for an extra 10% too. On top of that, it's a Moonbreon. Cool. Thank you very much. Oh, you have 15 raw Moonbreons? I'm buying all of that. Thank you very much. Would you take 80% since I'm buying all 15? Oh, thank you very, very much. That's it. Dudes are not thinking. Dudes are like eating. Like, oh, you have base set Charizards. I'll buy you completely out. Bro, I don't know. It is. I don't know. I don't know if this is helpful, but like that's legit what I'm seeing. It's like dudes are like, bro, like people are spending 10, 15K a day on the most brain dead thing ever. Like literally like Charizard. And then what like so I guess my point is like it just feels like it's just a money thing. It's like
Mm-hmm.
it's like I can't keep playing the game if I don't have any more tokens. If I run out of money, now what? Right? Like the play is still the play. Like let's say Jake Smith, you have $20,000 and you spend it all. What the fuck are you gonna do with all your knowledge? Nothing. You gotta go watch Netflix like the rest of us. Like at
Mm-hmm.
some point, you're gonna run out of money and you have to go watch Squid Game.
Yeah.
It's just what it is. Like it's just have money. Here's my how-to boom guide. Have money, spend it on shit that people like, print.
We're making that into a short. It's a good advice. It's the only advice.
Just buy a mum like buy like the shit that people like, bro.
Yeah, it's like, how quickly has everyone in chat gotten their little Moonbreons back from Terrastal and sold them? I'm sure if you have any quantity, like even 20, and you just got it yesterday, you're probably halfway done through selling it. And we were getting great advice from people like, oh, wait, like the hit rates are too crazy for this. Like, definitely wait to buy these cards. Well, when we told y'all to buy Umbreon at 180, guess what it is now? 280. Hey, what do you think it's going to be in a few weeks? Do you think reprints are going to help it when it's the only card in the set that people truly want? No. You should probably still be buying Umbreon at 280 because when English comes out and there's not enough English, where's everyone who can't afford the $2,500 Moonbreon 10? They're going to be buying the 400 or 500 Japanese 10. Shit always happens this way. Just turn off your brain. Just buy the cheapest with most margin thing that sells the fastest, and you're good. It's
Like I
GG's.
I remember when you like when the Umbreon first dropped, you were buying your copies for 180 to 200. And I couldn't find any at 180. And I was like, fuck, bro, Jake Smith is a savant. Like, I can't beat this kid. Like, he got his copies at 180, right? And I was hot paying 200, but I was like, whatever, they're centered. It's fine. Like, I need to buy this card. Like, this is a no brainer. I don't care if I'm spending a little extra 20, right? Then I bought until my pretty little credit card said, hey, you don't have no more funds, bucko. Stop. And then I stopped buying. Do you know what was the best play when I stopped buying?
Hmm.
To keep fucking buying at 180. That card is
Mm-hmm.
$300 raw. I could have sold every non-gradable for $120 premium. But do you want me to tell you why I didn't buy more? You want to take a wild guess?
Not enough money.
I didn't have fucking money. So what are we talking about here, Jake Smith? Why do we even have this pod? Like, I want to know are we talking about? Do you have money? If yes, buy Umbreon. Like, it's just like, oh, Pat Flynn did a 4-hour masterclass on the hobby. What fucking masterclass? What is so complicated? I'm confused.
Mm-hmm. That's, I don't know. It's crazy, dude.
I'm
I think the
confused.
whole point of the pod is go, this is crazy. This
No,
is,
because even me, like I'm like, oh, I'm gonna buy the lesser EVs. Oh, I'm so smart. Oh, the lesser EVs. Oh, I lost money. I had to sell them to Ray for 50 cents. I paid $2 a pop. What am I doing?
yeah.
Like when the Team Rocket set drops, just buy Charizard. The fuck are we doing, folks?
Yeah. Buy the Dark Chari.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
guess I'm just not stimulated. I don't see like dudes are big braining something that looks so obvious to me. It's like if dudes are like, wow, like it's like the fuck? It's the same shit every time. Like
Mm-hmm.
when the English comes out, the Japanese Umbreon is gonna go up a little bit. You wanna bet?
Oh, yeah. No, I'm not going to bet against that.
Because it's for sure every time, right?
Yeah. Yeah. At
So
least,
it's
I mean, for sure in the boom. Maybe not every time. Like in the past, like there are certain instances where the Mew, for example, the Mew Altart from Japanese 151 was like one of the most expensive cards. And then when that became readily available for $4 a card in English, that card tanked. And it's still worth less than a PSA 10, the one you had to actually pull from the set, than the PSA 10 from the readily available UPCs. Um, so there's certain things that happen like that, but when it's like a set versus a set, and the English set card is worth 3x or more than Japanese, like people just get straight priced out, and there's still so much demand that they're like, okay, maybe I'll buy the Japanese now and replace it later with the English, the one I really want, or that sort of thing. So, um, yeah, it's all pretty brain dead.
it's all pretty young. All right, let's talk about something that actually matters, bro. You're gonna start streaming, so we need to get you product, bro. So if you guys are selling your collection, hit up your boy Jake Smith. I mean, you're buying collections, right? You're buying because you
Mm-hmm.
got to stream.
Minty Mountain on Instagram. I bought from Chief Keen recently. Shout out. I bought from Retro recently. We have a lot of sealed product. I got a whole bunch of raw cards from Cass. I'll be streaming for when we're not ripping. But
Yeah,
yeah, that'll
reach
be
out
fun.
to Jake because like bro, people might have binders of things that are ungradable, and they might feel like it's daunting to sell a bunch of like I have all this money in the binders. Like, bro, we'll buy the binder. Like, just hit
Mm-hmm.
us up. We'll buy the binder at something that you're comfortable with, and that's it. And because Jake needs cards, right? Like the problem with being a streamer is if you run out of cards, you can't stream.
Run out
So
of fuel, yeah.
I'm gonna do my best to to feed you in that sense and send you some stuff. And I know you're gonna be running Yu-Gi-Oh and stuff, so hopefully you'll be all right for a couple of weeks. But We got to figure out how to get you some cards, brother.
Mm-hmm. Amen, brother.
I think that's cool,
Um,
man. I think that's a great idea. I think you're gonna cook. I'm excited for that.
it should be fun. I want to make it enjoyable for me and the stream, so we'll think of a few things. I'm aiming for Friday or Saturday. Um, just have to get the account made up early next week and get everything set up for the stream. I'm streaming on Whatnot, Son of a Merc. So we'll probably go live before then, and I'll be posting on Instagram too if you follow me there. The times, so should be pretty fun.
Um, yeah.
I thought this was interesting. Like it's like for Terrestrial Festival, Jesse Guitar said the best play was sealed. Don't have to grade boxes, insta flip. I mean, it's probably the safest play. I wouldn't say it's the best play because I mean, even if you're buying boxes for 50 a pop and now they're 85, like after fees and everything, and I mean, sure it sells immediately. You make your 30%. I mean, Umbreons were 180, and I was great. So for every single one of my Umbreons, I've sent to CGC, and the regular tins I was selling for 4 to 450. So I'm basically netting like 350 for $9 grading. And so I'm into each Umbreon for 190. I've only gotten tins and pristines. So I'm making, you know, 350 total on that. So I'm literally netting 160 on $180, which is a much better margin than buying a whole bunch of sealed and flipping it. And then the pristines are $1,000. So any pristine you get, it's just immediate, like just ridiculous margins. Um, um,
I got nothing.
Dow asks, the hit rate for SIRs and Prismatic Evolution is hard to hit. Do you think that would just push the Moonbryon price for Terrestrial Festival up more? Yeah,
Yep,
100%.
for sure.
I honestly think like it may be painful. Like honestly, it's been painful for me to continue buying Umbreons at 280 raw. Like it seems like the US market and Japanese market have kind of caught up to each other. Like in general, like the raw cards like 280 to 300 right now in both markets. Which I honestly think that's a signal to me that it's strong as hell. With as much boxes that were printed, as there's like over 2,000 of these cards graded in PSA already, PSA 10s, and they're still selling. What are 10s right now? Like 450 to 500 probably still. Um, it's still like a 2x margin. Like it's insane. So it's like it hurts me to buy more Umbreons at 280 because I was buying them for $100 less, but at the same time, I feel like I've been here long enough that I'm still going to sleep really well at night at 280. Because you kind of just got to be ahead of the market, and the market is showing us right now that the English one is going to be pretty hard to get if that Whatnot seller didn't get a horrible batch. But and card will only keep going up. It's the most liquid card in the set, most sales. I think it's the most expensive in a 10. Maybe the Umbreon Master Ball is a little more. But yeah, I think it only goes up from here, especially in this market.
Okay, so I got a question for you. Because right now I have multiples of every SAR in a 10. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm debating whether I should dump them all this week or maybe wait, I don't know, a week, right when English hits, and then have them end 7 days after the set, right? So the set's coming out next week.
Mm-hmm.
So if I auction, let's say half my SARs and save the other half, do you think the second half will do better because of this theory you guys have that English hits or whatever? Or
Well,
do
it's
you think,
crazy because like I've been auctioning on Fanatics and James, and the more time we go along, the more I'm getting for these cards. So it's like
well,
I don't think it like in a year or 2 years ago, this advice I'm giving to you right now would sound absolutely insane. It would not work. But like
Yeah.
right now, I think there's so much demand, and it's going to be a little while before Journey Together comes out, and the Battle Partners is kind of underprinted. It sounds like in Japanese, the half of what Journey Together will be. That honestly, I think the safest play, what like the advice I'd give you to is go ahead and get them in a package to Z. Tell him to auction the duplicates, and then I would tell him to put the other duplicates, buy it now for 20 to 30% more than what market currently is. Like,
Probably just
and it's
overthinking
gonna
it, bro.
take a few days to get to him. It's gonna take him a week to list it because he has so many cards coming in, and by then you're already have some on auction, and then you have others ready for market price. And if everything goes super well, you're messaging him before the buy it nows are even up at your 30% premium to raise it to 40-50% premium. Like he just made I thought it was an awesome video to kind of show how crazy things are. Like he's never had it happen before until now, but he's had in the past week like 7 or 8 people reach out to him that during the time their package was going to him in the mail, the prices of their cards have like doubled or tripled, and they're messaging him to change the buy it now prices that they currently have on the cards in the box. Like that's insane that people are having to message him before their package arrives to change the prices to be 50 to 100% higher than they have written down in their box from like 3 days ago. Like if that doesn't tell you that there's a boom going on right now, like I don't know what else there is.
Yeah, it's a boom. We're gonna win. Jake Smith, everybody, thank you for being here.
Yes, sir.
I'm happy we got to do a little bit of a pod. Sorry to cut it short, but I gotta go. I gotta walk my dog. I gotta get dinner. I gotta do a bunch of adulting. So, Jake Smith,
Mm-hmm.
final words. Anything you want to tell the homies? And when are we going live again?
Let's do it. Maybe tomorrow, Monday. Start popping them out more now that I'm back from traveling and being super sick. We got to start pumping out some content for you folks. But yeah, thanks for the 30 people that are watching. Like, subscribe. We really appreciate y'all being here. We were told not to go live by a certain Squeaks because there's football going on, but apparently the Pokemon and football markets don't immediately line up. So
Yeah,
pillars are lying once again, folks. Just put it on your list.
basically, don't listen to the pillars. Listen to your heart. Look at the money in your account and ask yourself, why is it this low? And a boom. And then get mad at yourself. And then look at yourself in the mirror angry that you're this broke and a boom.
Mm-hmm.
Wake up every single day and hear my sweet little voice in your head. We're going to win. We're going to win. We're going to win. Okay? Mm-hmm. This is my main message. There's nothing you need. You don't need to be hanging out with friends. You don't need to be watering your lawn. You don't need to eating healthy workout regimens. You don't have to be doing none of that. We're going to do that next year. This year, it's a boom.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very, very much.
Oh, and also if you have too much money in your bank account, do the exact same thing and ask yourself, why isn't more of this money in Evolving Skies right now? But thank you everybody for being here. We love you. We'll see y'all in a few days.
Peace out.
Peace.